color. The continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi. Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson. Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington. Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington. James Douglas as Stephen Cord. Elizabeth Walker as Carolyn Russell. Percy Rodriguez as Harry Miles. And also starring Barbara Rush as Marcia Russell.
Marcia Russell's former husband, Fred Russell, has died following emergency surgery for a severe skull injury. And the man Marcia had planned to marry, Dr. Michael Rossi, has been arrested, booked, and jailed on a charge of suspicion of murder in connection with Fred Russell's death. Now, Marcia hurries into the courthouse building to see Dr. Rossi and to try to ease the burden of what she is convinced is a false accusation.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, miss, but my appointment book is so full this evening, I don't really think I'll have time to work out. Under cases of emergency, however, I might...
I love you. I love you. I love you.
No, honey, we know this is all very temporary. I'll be out of here soon, maybe even tonight. Huh?
I know that. Stephen told me.
Now, what do you think of this, as a substitute honeymoon suite, huh?
Well, I'll say one thing. It's different.
Isn't it? Come on, sit down. On my couch. How's Carolyn?
Well, she's going to be all right, I think. She took a long walk along the beach, and then we talked. And she's going to be all right.
You smell good. Well, that's good. I think that's good. You have to treat this thing as a... Go ahead. No, go ahead. What you were saying.
Oh, Mike, this place. This awful, awful place. You must think it's the end of the world, but it isn't, my darling. I know it's not going to go beyond the hearing.
No, I'm sure it won't.
It is, what would they call it? An accumulation of circumstances. Oh, no one could ever think that you killed Fred. You couldn't kill anybody. And the way he behaved these past few weeks, his drinking and his threats. My darling, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Say that again. I was definitely in
the wrong place at the wrong time.
I keep trying to concentrate on a series of events that took place, and I think of in here as the law and due process of law and justice, blind justice with the scales and the judge's gavel and all.
You'd be grateful for that law, my darling. That law is going to pull us through this. Stephen is a good lawyer, I think, Mike. I really think so. And when that testimony is presented to the judge, there is not going to be one doubt in anyone's mind.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm sure of
that.
Do
you guarantee it?
I guarantee it.
If it doesn't come to pass, will you come in here and help break me out?
Well, I'll come in here and I'll set up housekeeping.
No. All right. Well, Steve.
Sure.
Stephen?
I've got to talk to you, Mike.
Oh, right. Would you want me to...
No, please stay. The bail has been denied.
Oh, hold on.
I don't understand, Stephen. You seem so sure.
Well, I was wrong. I thought they might release Mike on his own recognizance. After all, they know he's going to show up in court.
Well, bail isn't really that important anyway, is it? I mean, they have to have a hearing for me anyway.
Well, look, the court calendar is in good shape. I'll shove it ahead as quick as possible.
Well, I think we ought to try and get it right away. How about tomorrow, even, huh?
Well, the inquest is being held tonight.
Well, Stephen, listen, I mean, I don't think you understand. I'd like to get this thing kind of wrapped up as soon as possible. I mean, I can take it for an hour or two, or even a day or two if necessary, but, I mean, if they're not going to let me post bond or set a bail for me or anything, don't they have to have my hearing right away? Isn't that the law right away?
All right, Mike, I'll try. I'll do the best I can.
All right. Guard.
Who do you think it is? It's me, Eli Carson. Ask me in.
Well, all right. But you can't stay.
Good evening, my dear.
Well, what are you all dressed up for? A funeral or a wedding?
Neither one, for the present. But I've been reminded in the last couple of days that time runs out for all of us. So I decided to tell you that I'm thinking very seriously about getting married.
Oh? May I ask to whom?
Mm-hmm. To the same lady that I proposed to the other evening. Right here in your kitchen.
Some people won't take no for an answer, will they?
No.
I thought I made myself clear. I said I wasn't ready to settle down. I needed more time.
I know.
And you were very gentlemanly. You didn't press me. You said you understood.
Oh, I do. I mean, I did. But you see, I've decided that a gentleman can be too gentlemanly. Maggie, could I have a tote of cider, please? I feel a little cold.
No wonder. Out in the damp air without your overcoat.
I've been doing a lot of thinking, Maggie. I remember what my father said. He said, never take no for an answer from man, woman, or beast, especially the female of the species.
Must have had a low opinion of women.
No, on the contrary. He said the ability to change one's mind denoted intelligence, superior intelligence. Makes person more flexible.
Flexible pop. Weak, you mean.
Flexible, female, womanly. Oh, Maggie, what's wrong with changing your mind? Sometimes it's the most sensible thing to do.
Is that a new suit you're wearing?
Well, now, I thought you'd never notice. Here, take a look. Pretty sporty, huh?
Oh, yes.
Look at that side vent there. And the lapel, feel that? How thin?
I'll say it again, Eli. You're a good-looking man.
Well, then it must be my character that you don't like.
Oh, no, Eli. I think you're a wonderful man.
Then what are you waiting for, Maggie? I think we'd make a wonderful couple. You know, I always did like a full head of hair. I couldn't abide being married to one of those crop-headed critters.
Aren't you taking a lot for granted? I haven't said I changed my mind yet.
No, but I hope that you will. Look here, aren't you just a little curious?
What is it?
Well, it isn't a poker for the fire, and it isn't a coat hanger, it's just a stick of wood. You see, I got to thinking what you said about a stick of wood just being a stick of wood, then really it should be something else, so I started whittling, and this is what came of it.
Oh, Eli. It's very nice.
Oh, Maggie. Won't you change your mind? I changed mine. I knew what you meant about not making anything out of that stick of wood. Out of doing something with it. It's like life, and I'm stubborn. Maggie, I'm mule-headed as they come, but I got your point. So, I made something out of that stick. And now I'm here to make something out of my life, too. Well, Maggie?
You've said it all, Eli. You have all the right arguments.
Well, girl.
Yes, Eli.
Yes, what? Come on, girl.
Yes, I'll change my mind. Yes, I'll be Mrs. Eli Carson.
Maggie, Maggie, Maggie. I can tell the world. Hey, out there, did you hear that? Maggie Riggs is going to be Mrs. Eli Carson. Whoopee! Oh, Maggie, Maggie, Maggie.
Hi.
Hi.
I was at your boat looking for you.
Why?
Well, I want to talk to you about Mike Rossi.
Would you like a drink?
Don't be funny.
Excuse us, Ada. Thank you. Step over to my office.
You've got to persuade Mike to get rid of Stephen.
What?
I mean, he should have the best legal counsel there is. Tom, you know yourself there are top criminal lawyers, men with national reputations who are far better equipped to help him.
Wait a minute, Susan. Mike Rossi's an intelligent man. He's perfectly capable of choosing his own attorney.
Well, maybe it's a matter of money. But that shouldn't be important because I can get my father's name and backing and he can choose anyone he wants. But you must tell him that.
Well, I can't go to him. I'd be out of line. I realize that you're upset and concerned.
Well, of course I am. I mean, you realize that he was the one who helped me when we broke up. I gave him a rough time, but he just stayed in there and saw me through.
Well, I can understand why you'd want to try and repay him, but
Please, go to him for me.
I don't think it's such a good idea. Now, you're trying to impose a celebrity lawyer on him, someone who doesn't know him or the town or the circumstances. Now, it might work against him.
But why should he depend on a small-town lawyer who just doesn't have the time to devote to him?
Now, wait a minute. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to tell you that Stephen doesn't have the time for Mike's case. He is totally involved with the Peyton estate. Tom, he's obsessed with getting his hands on that money, and he's not going to let anyone or anything get in his way.
I think you're confusing two separate issues. Now, maybe Stephen doesn't have any time for personal relationships, Susan, but I wouldn't confuse that with his professional life.
You wouldn't because you don't know him as well as I do.
I know he has professional integrity. I think he's a fine lawyer. He did a good job when he defended Rod Harrington.
That's right. He would knock himself out for Harrington. And why? Why? Because of his future in the Peyton dynasty.
Why are you doing this? I mean, why are you trying to involve me in all of this?
I am trying to help Mike Rossi. And you are the only one who can go to him for me.
Why can't you go to him yourself?
Oh, come on, Tom. You know he's going to react the same way you have. He's going to think that I'm doing this out of spite because of something that happened between Stephen and me.
Well, aren't you?
Has nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry, Susan. I don't know what you really had in mind when coming to me, but I don't know whether it was a whim or just killing time. But, well, I can't help you. I wish I could.